Hey, it's your boy Deep Dye, and I'm back again with another video. And today I'm going to be doing a part 2 of a video I did last year. Now, to be honest, I can't believe it's taken me this long to actually get around to making a part 2. But that's right, we're gonna be ranking Marvel Phase 2 movies. Yeah, now if you watched the original video, I'm sure you've been wondering why did it take so long. Well, I forgot to do it. I just forgot that I was supposed to make that video, but now I remembered, so we're gonna be getting into it. Now, just like last time, I just have to put a disclaimer. This is my opinion. Is biased. This is my opinion. This is how the movies rank up in my very biased opinion. It's according to my enjoyment and what I want from a movie. So if I thought your favorite movie sucked and you're upset about it, I don't really care. It's about me. It's my channel, not yours. So don't come for me in the comments saying no. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? No. This is my list. If you want to make your list, make your own list. And now coming in dead last at number 6 is Thor: Dark World. Now, Thor: Dark World, when I first watched it, I didn't understand what it was about. I rewatched it with what happened obviously in the Infinity Saga, and with the ether being the stone, and I thought it was pretty cool, but overall it's like, why was this even made? Probably the worst Thor movie in existence. I don't really think it was that great. Yeah, so it's coming in dead last. And coming in at 5th is Iron Man 3. Now, if you know me personally, you know my favorite superhero from the MCU is Iron Man, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie, but just coming into the whole overarching arc of the MCU, the Infinity Saga and the Multiversal Saga, I think it was pretty much an inconsequential movie. It was just made to fulfill Robert Downey Jr.'s contract obligations. I think they just had to make sure that they did a third movie starring Robert Downey Jr., and that's why they did that. I did like them exploring Robert Downey Jr.'s post PTSD. That was pretty cool, but other than that, it's really not. It's like, why did you even make this? Yeah, Peter Parker appearing was also cool, but one thing I have a problem with is that kid, I forget his name. Like, it was like he was supposed to be the next Iron Man, and then the next time we see him is at an end credit for Avengers Endgame, and now with Black Panther 2 coming, we're obviously getting Ironheart. So it's like, what is the point of that kid even being in the movie? He was just wasting good time. We're gonna get in any number of heroes. So I hope they do something with that kid, but other than that, Iron Man 3 is pretty, it sucked. Coming in at number 4, which was pretty hard, but it was it's pretty hard. Coming in at number 4 is Ant-Man. I actually liked Ant-Man. I was a fan of Ant-Man. Now, why Ant-Man is number 4 is just that I think the 3 above it are really good, and I'm a really big fan of them. I know some of you might not be a fan of one of them, but it's one of my favorites. It might even be my favorite movie in the MCU. But coming in at 4th is Ant-Man. Now, Ant-Man with Scott Lang and Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne, it was a vibe, and I really loved, what's the Spanish dude's name? That sounded racist, but you know who the guy I'm talking about. Is it Carlos or something, or Ernesto? I forget. The guy could tell stories, and it was just a vibe of a movie. I think it was something similar yet different. I really love. One of my favorite things about the Iron Man character is his family dynamic, especially with his daughter and his ex-wife. I really love how he tried to balance so that while being a superhero, even though he was tricked and trapped into stealing this suit by Mr. Hank Pym, but I really love that dynamic of the first movie. I thought the villain kind of sucked, but I think the villain sucked for each of the first 3 films I talked about in this movie. So yeah, I think that was one of the major reasons why it could have been higher if it had a better film. I mean, the side characters really carried the movie. That's not to say Scott Lang's character is bad. He's definitely one of the more, one of the funnier, more wholesome characters of the MCU. But I think his best work is done more when he's with other heroes. But that will be discussed more in my Phase 3 video, which isn't coming next year, by the way. This one's probably gonna come out later next week. Yeah, we're not going to have what happened to this video. It took me a year to make this. Wow. Anyway, moving on from my bad and lazy habits. Coming in at third is Marvel's Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, this is a movie which is mixed. I really love this movie. Let me just tell you, of all of the 3 Avengers movies, okay, there are 4 Avengers movies, yeah, but okay, you know what I mean. I think Age of Ultron is probably the most underrated superhero movie in existence. Now, let me tell you why. First of all, Ultron is one of the most interesting villains in the MCU. Age of Ultron literally created a big chunk of Phase 3 and even Phase 4 and Phase 5. Most of the stuff we're about to be going through now, and we have been going through, is a direct consequence of Age of Ultron. It's a wonderful movie. It explores the consequences of genius. A genius is trying to protect the world, but the way he's trying to protect the world, he ends up almost destroying it. Age of Ultron is just a beautiful movie, and if you haven't watched it, go watch it. You disgusting person. How okay, this is 2022. That movie came out in 2015, and if you haven't watched it, go watch it now. Age of Ultron is my favorite MCU Avengers movie. Now, look, I love Infinity War, I love Endgame, but Age of Ultron is just one of those movies whereby, for me, one thing I love about this movie is that it explores the Avengers creating their own problems. If to me, if there was ever a perfect Marvel movie, it's that one. I really love Iron Man's involvement in the plot. I really love Cap's. It sets up Civil War, which is more other people's favorite MCU movie. But for me, Civil War doesn't happen without Age of Ultron. It brings in Wanda. One criticism I have is that they killed off Quicksilver. I mean, I hope they bring him back. I thought they were going to bring him back in Doctor Strange 2, but that didn't happen. So anyway, we've moved on. But yeah, really solid movie, and I really love that movie. Now, coming in second, what could possibly be in second? Let me think. Captain America and the Winter Soldier. This one is it's a lovely movie. Let me just say that I really love the dynamic. The big reveal that Hydra was actually hiding within SHIELD in secret, which is one of the other major reasons why Age of Ultron even happens. I'm going to stop talking about Age of Ultron now. But one of the other major reasons why events like Civil War and why SHIELD was not able to help the Avengers in Infinity War, it all stems from this movie. I really love how Hydra infiltrated SHIELD for that long and they didn't notice. I really love that, and the fight at the end is pretty awesome with the giant helicarriers and all that. And yeah, Bucky Barnes as the Winter Soldier was a pretty cool super soldier. type bad guy for Cap to fight. And yeah, and you know, if you've caught up to the MCU, what's her name, Sam Carter's character was also introduced in that. And if you watch the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know, that's pretty interesting. So you know, there are a lot of things which were good about this movie. So yeah, there's just so much praise for Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and that's why it gets my number 2 spot. And finally, coming in at number 1 in my ranking of the Marvel Phase 2 movies is Guardians of the Galaxy. Why is it Guardians of the Galaxy? Because Guardians of the Galaxy was probably, at the time, it was, when I first watched it, I was so shocked. I never heard of these heroes. Probably 90% never heard of these heroes. In fact, the only reason I watched that movie was because Batista was in it, and I was a wrestling fan. But oh my god, Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, Batista, Vin Diesel, oh my god, that movie was probably my favorite thing ever. I don't know how many times I've rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy. Honestly, every time I watch it, it gets better. It was so funny. The fight scenes were amazing. We got introduced to the daughters of Thanos. We got introduced to the Power Stone. We got introduced to one of the most underrated Marvel villains in history, in my opinion, Ronan the Accuser. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best MCU movies, and I think probably one of the best superhero movies ever made and will ever be made, just because of the non-existence of the characters. No one knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were at that point, but now they're probably some of the most popular superheroes existing now, and it all stemmed from that movie. I really loved how free they were to be comedic, to be themselves, and it's an awesome movie. Yeah, so that's probably when, for me, the MCU, not just for me, Phase 2 is probably when the MCU went from being just this niche movie franchise for giants like me, started going into the mainstream. And it was because of a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, because it was a movie which anyone could watch. You could watch the movie even if you didn't know who these people were, just because of how funny and how emotional and how great the fights were. Anyone could watch it. So yeah, that's why it gets my number 1 spot. And what do you think of my ranking? Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I'm a genius? What are your own rankings? How do you rate the Marvel Phase 2 movies? Please let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps your boy out, and I'll see you next time. I've been your boy, and that's it for the Nerd Vibe today.